Hi, my name is Nick Carton. This is my Module 4 assignment. I'm actually in Colorado, so I have a different little standards here, but I still went through everything and kind of labeled where we're at when talked to my principal, Mr. Craddock, about where we're at as far as all these categories and the four R's. So I'm going to kind of just talk, and I also kind of gave us a grading here as well, where we're kind of at, and go from there. So the I guess if we're gonna label our building as either model or in the building phase, I'd say we're somewhere in between. We're not close to modeling. I know that. We model in some areas, and in some areas we have a lot of work to do. And me and my principal have a good relationship, so we kind of understand that, and that's where we're at. And so we were honest with each other and figured out what we do well and what we need to improve upon. And he really enjoyed the Kansas standards as well. So it kind of gives us a different look of how we want to do things. So I would say we're in between building the model, more of a transitioning stage. The leadership style of my principal is very autocratic in a way, but also very participative. So it's kind of interesting. He's very tough on discipline. He has high expectations, and he expects them to get done. But at the same time, he loves feedback from us and wants to hear from us. And that's kind of what I label him as someone who's very, very strict, but also will allow you to talk, and he'll listen and then tell you why he made a decision. So I think that's pretty cool. Um, some things that we definitely need improvement upon, and I'll kind of go through this real quickly. I won't read it word for word. I think we're pretty good with curriculum and in the relevance realm in general. So if you look at curriculum, we have good standards, professional learning, and we're pretty good at making sure that we all have the same alignment as well. Because our district has pay for performance, so everything is done as far as our pay due to test scores. So we have to meet certain standards, and we all take the same test at the end of the semester. So as you can see here, we're not so good at student engagement. That we're transitioning there, and there's some things that we need to work on with that. A lot of classrooms you'll see, it just depends on the teacher, but you'll see students engaged in some and some and not. Technology, we are pretty good. I'd say this is one of our strengths. We have one-to-one laptops and all that stuff. We do have a lot of, I guess, the hardware, but we don't necessarily have the support. And that definitely comes down to we have the support in building, but as far as the district, we don't get a lot of support from them just because we're in a transitioning phase as well. So something I forgot to mention in the beginning is that we have a new principal, and currently we have no superintendent as well. So our leadership as far as the upper level of the district is lacking. Not in a bad way, we just don't have a superintendent. So we have a transition team in right now. So responsive culture, we're pretty good as far as the leadership, but we definitely have to work on getting the community more involved. So that's my first weakness that I want to point out, is that we don't reach out to the community as well as we should. And then getting family involvement is something we really need to work on. I think we want to. We're just in a low income school, and so everybody assumes that parents don't want to get involved, that they can't get involved. Well, I think they can. We just need to reach out to them in some way. The second weakness that I want to mention is nutrition. We really have bad nutrition programs here. We don't really have any. So we have no data on nutrition. The most of what I can tell you that we do for wellness is probably physical education, which is a requirement. But other than that, we really do not do a well job in nutrition. When it comes to rigor, we're pretty good at, and it just depends on what you're talking about. But I think that we have high expectations for our students, and like we said, we're in a transition phase, so it definitely it will take time. So relationships, I kind of just broke it down by these four categories using the Kansas State model. So staff, I feel like relationships, since we're all new, we're still implementing. Relationship-wise, we have a long ways to go. Students, though, I think we're more of a transitioning stage because our students, I think all the teachers for the most part receive training called Capturing Kids' Heart. And I think that really helps with the building relationships with our students. And every teacher here is very caring and very loving of their students. So I think we're pretty good there. Implementing for families and communities, again, just that's a weakness of ours. We have to reach out more, and anytime you have a transition, I think that's the case. So getting families involved and communities involved is going to be a challenge, but I think it's very doable. So that's my feedback on the assignment. I think it was pretty interesting. Like I said, it was very positive with me and my principal sitting down and talking about this stuff, and it kind of gives us a roadmap of where we want to go in the future. And so he's glad that he brought this up because now I can help him with that as well and give him some ideas and vice versa. So thank you, and that is it.